The artful mind. Where is the artful mind? When nothing of your mind is found? A place full of desire that satiates you with desire? For in recognizing a place full of what you can't have, why have any of it but desire? Filled then with recognition of the unrecognizable, hard then to look at your eye, full of its end, as you become accustomed to the craft, and recognize the figures then calling you here, rather than the unrecognizable. Piecewise. Why would a thing come in pieces, except when the whole won't fit? Why would someone want a thing that couldn't fit whole, unless to get all the way in where they fill at peace is full of odd shapes that open up to something bigger once at peace? The thing then offered is piecewise, offering a piece de resistance, where its odds and ends, when put together, fit the whole. Why would something be odd to begin with, for something then with odds and ends to fit, unless to move something towards its beginning continually, as it takes pieces in piecewise, to show its front, a stump standable that gives good footing for an odd structure to have an end, where then its end is continually a beginning, as it then searches for the next piece. What lives in the dust? Those characters whose magic resides as a figure that takes a long time to print, until dust becomes as currency circulating through wires for their transfer onto canvas via printer. Dry magic that wets the eye upon each blink, drying itself into design that flies from airborne of the slightest current in an eyelash, this covering being the stuff of dreams, as we. Sun Dancer. Moving from mass chaos, the group found new hope on the road ahead, as was the road behind. Leaving the festival was always a bit disheartening, but they were headed to a place that, if others came, they were the ones who were asked for guidance. And what more is home than that? The festival that they had just departed was one centered around a giant structure of pillars that upon the midpoint of the festival held no shadow, as each pillar worked with the angle of light to cast and reflect certainly. Where within the deviations from this midpoint, the shadow was scattered with angles of light and dark, where then upon its end, until beginning again, the shadow was wholly dark. They carried with them on their journey away what they called sun rulers that measured the length of light, telling them the distance and angle of the sun, which let them know the time in which to once again converge to meet up with their people from all over at mass chaos. The structure itself symbolic of the chaos found nurturing them afar, keeping the day vivid and full of life. When then upon their convergence they become the mass chaos, as all the chaos takes forms to behold, quickening the convergence, where then even in proximity they are given the nature of chaos that is found while they are away, now here, allowing them all to reside, where then upon their departure the chaos becomes separate and distant, though before them in unfamiliar but familiar ways. Having an episode. What an event when an episode occurs, the only thing to make the real being then cut from the real of life. What's then real, the episode or those that watch? Each is shape. Only having shape is what shapes the ability to have shape, where what happens on either reel can watch an episode. Homegrown cinnamon. How dry, like the red earth of Mars. Try swallowing a spoonful, relaying a message without relation, that the words can be heard while the mess isn't seen. At what point in this dry way is much water held? Where then relation relates the unseen to act upon what's not present? The martial arts of the Martians in a marsh, harboring such growth requisite of water in such a dry way, that water is not even seen nor felt to those in it, that words spun to never end the word connect without connecting anything. Space. Space is the caveat that separates the sound of two hearts. And I'm going to separate myself from this poem here because I've already uploaded it. Maturation. Aging well. What ages well? What is age? And how do we deal with it? For there are ages, and though most aren't here, they exist as a practice already having been or yet to come. though their age is known even while they are not. For then is aging not in the ability to pass through the ages, gaining age as each age is passed? What are these tools given us upon the age in which age begins to take hold, where within pathways are then trod and teachers take on with teaching the ways of the sex? That you know your position by knowing your mate, which is where you lie. Where the odd rant can either work in or out of favor as a stench or welcomed scent depending on the attitudes of surroundings, metal or meat. Where in keeping the scent good, odds and ends are placed on a pedestal of import and price. For do they add to the age and then to your mate? For in them adding age, the age you're in is then lost. Though in giving nothing to age, the age is not known. How well do you know your age, and then knowing your age are able to equate your surroundings by computational expression of communication, then being able to know the age of things, knowing then your age, giving then you the right of age, as you place things then according to their age, giving then you age as a possessive noun, in which having can then be had, as you pass through the ages. Having money. Those who have money, thinking that the transaction and storehouse of exchange for want is up to their choosing. Though where does money go? Follow the money trail to figure out that money goes to and is had by what makes sense. Otherwise, what scent is there to be had? Then those who have money don't really have it, but are followers of sense and are going with the flow where their eyes are stored in a credenza whose body believes that it sees what it chooses, though its choosing is of money and not of those that believe they have money. Ennui. What does it take to know, to gain a sense of? How far are you willing to go to reveal the question? For who has the right to keep a secret knowledge from everyone, that this knowledge may be so attractive as to cause a movement in others that they are moved by it while not knowing it? Getting so stirred up by its ways as to then call oneself ennui. Then who has right to its discovery? And when discovered, is what made it so attractive a knowing that makes knowing it less of a knowing? For the more you know it, the less of more you know, as it's all you know. Then is it not up to all to cover up its knowledge, that it's not causing all to know nothing, that all can know something, giving us all a little bit of dissatisfaction welcomed in? Not that. I'm not mad, but I'm riddled with superfluous angst over whether or not to get so, to make a move from either side of where I am. In not being so, it's as if all the long stops that could be are passed by, as there is no driving force to combat an idea with a solid retort, meaning then that I am constantly moving from making and nothing is getting made. This place then becoming the long stop of having done nothing but skating between movement and its counterpart of becoming immovable from this spot. It's as though I want to get mad but can't, but don't want to get mad, madly enough. Everything around me mad, as I move through the motionless. Where I really want to go. Where I really want to go seems only to last in the jackpot of a lifetime. Why can't I win this? As if I've made a good living out of making nothing my job. For I can't see myself lasting long in this place, until I long for what I couldn't have, by cutting the dream short through an unfamiliar design, that I'll then wish to have each night as my eyes close on where I am. If this is the case, what truly am I after? For then in having, I don't have what I want. Is it simply the chase, then, that I am after, something being lost, then when caught? How then do I catch this without catching it? The falling. What was the falling? Was it a loss or a gain? Did two really fall, or did two become one? One can't help but feel a loss of the two, no longer able to separate the two from one, like two parents with whom which we spoke to individually. But what are we but one of the two? Then when we are one, are our parents lost or found? For we are the two, though one. Though which one? Only then found in pieces, which we hold and place in an attempt to rebuild the two as one, that one doesn't overcome the two as one. Where are my parents? Though I know where they are, will I as one then fall apart in search for the two? As fast as humanly possible. When the game's done quick, who has the chance to even blink? Each record a capturing of a word from another perspective. What's the cost of being so fast? That there seems to be no consumption. What then is the flavor of this place that has no taste? For why wouldn't one want to go toward the perspective? In doing otherwise, what then does that mean you are? Where then, how can a record be continually broken? But what's broken is the goal. Where then, how can we have the same goal and know more of it? Where then, how can we think the goal is continually broken while doing nothing but listening to a broken record? All right, everybody. One more for the books.